Hola. Welcome to episode 52 of Word to Your Mama. Today we have Coach Lemar Betts. He's a Los Angeles native, a Black entrepreneur, father, author, skateboarder, community builder, and one that has inspired many, many, many kids. In this episode, we talk about his non-linear career path and all the intricate stops in between as one of the few skaters in his neighborhood to accountant to owner and coach at the Skateside. We discuss how the supernatural bear was hesitant about joining the Skateside, but now, it turned out he was upset that I only registered him for a half day. We talk about a little bit about his beginnings, his humble beginnings in the work field, where he was able to get Bagger of the Year. He also really made me think, and probably will make a couple of you out there think twice about grocery store fried chicken. And I'm talking about even the amazing fried chicken from the Ralphs on the corner of La Brea and Rodeo/Obama. And then we also kind of talk about, after he tells us more of his history, because with the beginning, when years ago when we had a small talk during lunch, I only knew like 0.05% of his story. So as he, expounds on it and tells us his story, then we could see the setbacks along the way prepared him and his wife to start the Skateside. This is a great episode. This is also the first episode that I could say is 100% free of explicit language, so that Coach Lemar's kids, the Supernatural Bear, and the many, many students of the Skateside could listen. So I'm proud of myself. First and foremost, just to let you know, usually they're a little explicit or a lot explicit. And then the only section that is free of any explicit language is a Supernatural Bear Corner. He's only allowed to listen to those sections that he records. He's the curse word police. And so I made it a point that I told him, I promised him, I said, you know what? This is going to be an episode that you can listen to from beginning to end. So listen to this amazing story from half of the Skateside team. Let's get into it.
Got it. There it is. What's up?
What's up?
How you doing? What's up, Ritzy? How you doing?
What's up, Coach Lemar?
Doing good. I'm hanging out. Just getting it together over here. So figured it out. I had to actually move out of the back room because I actually had to keep the kids home from school today. So
okay.
They are around. So I was like, let me head over to the garage really quick, and then I can have some one-on-one time with you, and we can get this combo.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you could have like been like, hey, things change. We could redo it or whatever. But thank you for doing it. I appreciate it. Like on your feet, making it happen. Garage time. I love it because it's like I see the decks in the back. It's official.
This is it. Yeah,
it's official.
This is it. Yep. So how have you been?
I've been good, man. I mean, been as good as one can be during these crazy times, but hanging in. I'm alive and I'm breathing, as I've been saying the past couple episodes. What about you?
Or staying humbled on the daily. That's basically it for me. I would say just staying positive, doing what I do best. That's it. Working with kids, the usual Skateside stuff. So
yeah,
we're good.
And the family's good. Everybody's good.
Family's good. Everybody's good. I don't even know if you know, but you don't have 3 kids now, right?
I don't think so. Like,
so
did it during the after these times, or what happened?
No. So I'm trying to remember when you guys were doing lessons, because I think it was maybe just my son Nico that I just had. That was 2015, and then my daughter Nina, she was born in 2018.
Oh,
I had another kid after that.
No. So congrats.
Okay,
Wow.
no.
So,
Yeah.
full house.
Full house. She's 3. So it's a trip
Oh,
to have 3.
you're in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. In it.
So what are
Baby.
the ages now?
So my daughter Tuesday, 18, stepdaughter Tuesday, she's 18.
Wow. Yeah. I remember about her. You told me about her for sure.
That's Tuesday. And
Wow.
then my son Nico is 6. And then daughter Nina is 3.
Wow, man. Full house. Feliz born day to the oldest. 18. Yep. Woo.
It's a trip.
That's another crazy milestone. You and your wife must be like, that must be scary.
Wiped out.
Is it scary? Is it scary? Like
to have an 18-year-old?
Yeah, like
yes, because I feel like slightly we sheltered her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going out now. She, we kind of want to give her that adult space.
Yeah.
I mean, she still does stuff as if she's like a teenager, but we start, let her have that adult space now. And I just wanted to know that, if anything happens, you got like an extra layer of protection. So, if anything goes sideways, call us up. We don't have to talk about anything, just hit me up. Yeah. I'll be right there. I want your friends to know, hey, if anything happens, I'm here too. So,
nice.
It's not just you by yourself. So
yeah. Oh, that's like great. That must be a good thing. Like I didn't have that growing up. I don't know if you had that. I didn't have that growing up. And I'm sure that changes the whole situation, how you navigate the world, just knowing like, I have parents that support me and I got backup, no questions asked. Like that's tricky, man. I don't even, Supernatural Bear, he just turned 9 and I'm just like, that happened so fast.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about the other day, I was like, you're going to be a teenager in like a flash.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, for me, I'm the oldest. I have my younger sister. Mm-hmm. So she's 2 years younger than me. So I always felt like the need to protect her at all costs. And I think I had like a small temper growing up too. So like if anybody said
temper, would your sister say and your family say it was a small temper?
It's very small. It's very small. It's very small. Yeah. It's more of like, disrespect. I can't tolerate stuff like that. Or like, if I'm in elementary school, somebody actually bumps into me the wrong way, I used to like get really upset about stuff like that.
Got it.
Somebody picking on my little sister, I'm like, hey, I got to go talk to this person now, stuff, always being the protector. But I think that's kind of just, what I've been told, like, hey, look out for your sister. I had an older cousin who I was always with, and he would always look out for me. So, it's kind of like we have to keep it going and have each other's back. So I think it just carried over into adult life.
Yeah. And then with Skateside, this is what you do, I feel, for other kids in so many different ways. Yeah. And by example for those in your family and your leadership in Skateside. So tell the folks who may not know, because if you haven't heard the dope promo that the Supernatural Bear did for Skateside, what is Skateside? Tell the folks what Skateside is.
All right. So the Skateside is a skateboarding school. We do camps, we do skateboarding lessons, birthday parties, we have merch, we do events, and we basically just build community. And that's what the Skateside does. That's it.
So the reason why I know you and we've stayed like in touch, at least, cursory in touch with social media and stuff, is because the Supernatural Bear, just when we were still back in LA, he was kind of interested in skateboarding. And I saw I don't know where I saw your thing. Maybe it was through homeschooling, the homeschooling charter we were a part of. I think maybe I saw that.
That could have been it.
Because you're a vendor, which is smart as hell. And I feel like I try to tell anyone that I know that has a business that has anything to do with kids, that's a thing you should definitely, it's super easy. I don't know. Now it's a little bit more difficult, but back then it was super easy to become a vendor. And you have a bigger audience, a bigger reach.
For sure.
And so anyways, so we got into it. And I remember the first day he was not having it. It was a camp and it was, I could do half day or full day. And we did half day just to see how he does. I think it might have been maybe one of the first camps or the second camp he'd ever been in. So we were driving. I remember driving to the Culver City skate park. And then he was like, no, he's like, let's just go home. And I was like, why?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, this is good. He's like, well, I don't know anyone and I don't know how to skate. And I was like, well, that's what you'll learn. And, this and that. Da, da, da. And I was like, also, I remember kind of throwing in there because you want to see people that look like you or look like people in your family. And I was like, and he's black, mijo. I go, that's important. I go, this is awesome. So it kind of piqued his interest. And I was like, if you don't like it, we'll go back. You got to try. That was my thing, like teaching them. You have to try it out. Don't say no until you try it. So we go, and then he loved it. And he was like, why didn't you sign me up for full day camp? And da-da-da-da-da. And he was just.
Always happens, yeah.
Yeah. And he was just, it's like, still to this day, one of the reasons why I stay in touch and want to keep abreast of what the Skateside is doing is because Supernatural Bear, he just always still has this crazy respect for you because he did the camp once, I think. And it was it changed so much. I saw him push himself, challenge himself, have video still of him going down the ramp and him like thinking about it and like, and I love the system that you have. I don't know. I'm sure it's evolved. But at the time I thought it was awesome. Like if you do these certain things, you get these wristbands, those rubber wristbands, all the other coaches, you could tell like they're skaters too, but it was like a real nice community feel. And it wasn't like, we're too cool for school.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for us, it's there is a certain skateboarding culture, but we're bringing skateboarding to kids. And sometimes it's for kids that have never stepped on a board, parents that might not even think the best of skateboarding or skaters in general. And so we're providing a more, I would say, youthful experience for kids. It shouldn't be, about drugs, alcohol, being disrespectful and stuff like that. It's like, we have to build each other up. It's got to be positivity. It's got to be teamwork. All the positive things that you can get from skateboarding, that's what you wanted to showcase and give to the kids. So that's kind of like, how our program is developed from that. Working hard. That's why you have the wristbands. You have to earn it. We don't just give it to you.
Love that.
No matter if you cry, scream about it. It's like, oh, did you land every trick on this list? We're here. Let's work. Let's do this. So then when they get it, they feel, empowered. They feel like they accomplished something. Yeah. They get that gratification, and all the other things. So, and meeting Supernatural Bear was awesome too. We kept calling it the scientist.
The
scientist. Yeah.
I remember one time and that's what he was telling me on the way to camp. He's like, I'm into science. And I was like, oh, well, there's science involved in skateboarding, velocity, angles, all these different things. And he was like, And then for whatever reason, you guys started calling him the scientist. And then one time I went, and I remember we went through the back through the trees area and he went in and he was like, the scientist is in the house.
Yep. Exactly. As soon as he pulls up, I'm like, yo, the scientist. Yo. It was too funny. Rocco was actually walking with him, right? So I go, I think his nickname is something with science also, right?
Ira Science. Yeah.
There we go. Boom. So I'm like, yo, the scientist. And I think Rocco thought I was talking about him. And I'm like, no, I mean,
the little one.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think he probably.
Oh, heads up. Here we go.
Hello.
You want to say hi to Ritzy? Come over really quick. Really quick, Nina. Really quick. Say hello.
Hi.
Are you cold? Don't be a cheeseburger. All right, Nina, I'm talking right now. You want to go inside the house really quick? Here, it's a Rice Krispie treat. See you later.
You sounded so defeated. Here, Here's
I
my
know. I don't want to give her any candy at all. I'm like, refrain from it. But she saw it. Now I'm like, all right, I'll see you later.
I hear you. How cute.
Yeah. She comes over. She wants to do everything that I do. She's like, she sees me put on my hat. She's like, oh, can I put on a hat too? She's like, I want to be like you on the computer all day. And I'm like, okay, come on, sit down real quick. Get to it.
Super cute, man. So I know you have an interesting story. I know you and I think it was like during a lunchtime or something. I think I had asked you. So I definitely wanted to dive into that. What were you doing prior to the Skateside?
Prior to the Skateside, should I go from the beginning?
Yeah.
From like the beginning? Gee, so work related. The first job I ever had, I worked at Albertsons. So really, my mom, she's such a people person. So she goes inside the Albertsons on Crenshaw and La Brea at the time. No, actually, Rodeo and La Brea.
Oh, which is now a Rouse. Oh, yeah. We call it the Hood Rouse.
Oh, yeah. So I was across the street at Albertsons. So it's kind of like,
is there
Albertsons,
Rouse? Got it. Yeah.
So I was on the Del Taco side, not on the McDonald's side.
Got it. So that's a superior right now?
Exactly.
See. Got it.
Yep. So she goes in, she talks to the manager. She's like, hey, y'all hiring? Y'all need to hire my son. He's so good. Da. And the manager, Mo, he talks to her, says, all right, bring him in, have him fill out the application. So I get there, I talk to him, fill out the application, I do the interview. And he goes, hey, so, I love that, you get good grades. It looks like you're doing, you're into skateboarding, so you're staying focused. And he's like, he asked me, so what are you going to do if you have someone who's like a tough customer? And I'm like, well, I deal with my mom all day. So, and he's like, he laughs so much because he knows her from going there all the time. And she just talks to everybody and wants to, start, a whole bunch of stuff. So, and that made him laugh. And then he's like, all right, cool, we'll hire you. And then from there, that was it. I started working as a bag boy. Everywhere I've worked, I've always worked there. I've always worked hard. I've always wanted to get promoted. I've always never wanted to like slack off, even if it's just bagging groceries. Yeah. So, I take, pride in whatever I do. And so I started working there, built up the work ethic, doing a bunch of stuff. I was even bagger of the year.
Hello, excuse.
That's right. They actually send you off to like this competition where
no way.
There actually is a bagging competition. So you and a cashier will go to like one of the Albertson stores, maybe somewhere in the valley. And then they literally have all their best baggers and cashiers at a check stand. And then you deal with real customers and they grade you on like what you do. Like, oh, did you offer the extra product? Did you offer carry out service? Did you smile when they approached you? All this different stuff. And so I believe we got second place one year, and then the other year it was probably third. But I'm telling you, I was going in bagger of the year. And the official term for bagger is actually courtesy clerk for anybody out there.
Oh, excuse. Now we know.
It's courtesy clerk.
Courtesy clerk. So as a bagger, I was never a bagger, but I miss when I go to the grocery store, I miss the days of real good baggers. Do you feel the same way? I'm like, who's putting the soft stuff at the bottom? Like,
absolutely. There's a way you have to do it. You have to, create walls for the bag first, put the cereal on the side, and then build up from there. And you can put the soft stuff on the top.
Exactly.
And that's the way you do it. And then you have to put the bag in, slide it all the way back to where the handle is, and, make sure it's nice and organized, and then go, oh, thank you so much. Can I have your carry out service? Welcome to the car, whatever you got to do, and then go from there. So that's the proper way to do it for anybody.
So when you go to the grocery store, are you just like, wow, what is happening right here? What is this?
Sometimes, they grab the bread, smash it, just throw it in the bag. I'm like, why would they put this with this? I pick up a bag. I'm like, this bag is going to rip. It's a little bit too heavy. But I understand. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I'm like, you want me to bag? If there's no bag there, I'm like, I got this. Don't worry about it. I'm like trying to remember all the codes and stuff like that. I'm like, bananas, 4011, cucumbers, 4062.
That's amazing. And you want to remember when I was little, I was always amazed that the way back then, like in the 80s, the way the bagger, courtesy clerks, how they would do it. It was like a certain thing. Do you remember that? Like, I don't know if you did that. They'd get the stuff and it'd be like a smooth move into the bag.
Yeah. I mean, just
it was like the smooth move. And I was like, the only place that I feel the courtesy clerks know what they're doing, and I think it's because everybody rotates, is Trader Joe's. They usually always pack my stuff up. They're on point, right?
They're on point. They know what to do for sure. I go there, I don't have to think about it. I'm like, yep, that's it. You guys got it.
They're like, oh, let me double bag this. Is a little heavy. Like, let me put this at the bottom and they're good. So anyway. So did you grow up in that neighborhood? Because that's what we lived by that. That's all I know. That when that Rouse, we would go. We were in between the Ladera Heights Rouse and the Rodeo / Obama.
Right, Obama now.
Obama, right? And but that Rouse, their fried chicken and their sides, amazing.
Oh, there you go. See, I have a thing with the grocery store fried chicken now because, like I said, I kept getting promoted. So I worked as a courtesy clerk, and they were like, "Oh, Lemar, you're really good." But I was like 15, 16. So I was like, "Let's put you on the videos." I did well in videos. They're like, "Oh, let's put you in the meat department." So I went to the meat department, and as I'm over there, then they're like, "Let's put you in the service deli." So then I'm over there cooking the fried chicken, making the potato salad and stuff like that. And so I kind of saw how it all goes down, and I'm kind of over it. So no more fried chicken from the grocery store for me.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay. I'll remember.
Even though they won the hoodie awards back in the day, I remember listening to Steve Harvey's show, and they won the hoodie awards.
Yeah, because that fried, like I wasn't into fried chicken from grocery stores, but that one was next level, and they had the real like. You never went to I never had one by my place back in the days of San Diego that had, the mac and cheese and the greens and the sweet, but it was all good.
Yeah. They got everything. Did you ever get samples from there too?
Your industry is loud and congested. How will you cut through the noise while maintaining brand integrity? Regardless of how talented and creative your core team is, nearly all businesses need some level of support in order to communicate their message. From brand identity and graphic design to experiential and digital, let the team at Ritzy Periwinkle help you speak your mind and translate rough thoughts into captivating action. Visit ritzyperiwinkle.com today to schedule a no-cost 30-minute consultation to discuss the best creative strategies for your business. That's ritzyperiwinkle.com. Ritzy Periwinkle. Let's build. No, I don't think I ever got samples from there.
We used to like this thing, like where, like, on a small break, we would go to the service deli and go, "Hey, give me the courtesy clerk special," and they give you like a sample of, like, "Oh, here's a little chicken wing. Here's some, potato salad." Yep.
That's amazing. So I'm sorry. So going back, so you grew up. Where did you grow up?
Oh, there we go. We started off in Inglewood on Glasgow, somewhere around there near Randy's Donuts. And then we started going more and more west. So we went from Inglewood to Crenshaw and King, and then we moved to Adams and Crenshaw, and then that's basically high school and stuff like that. So
where'd you go to high school?
Hamilton High.
Got it.
Anything about Hamilton High that you know of?
No, I don't know. I don't know about it. I'm sure I'll ask Rock about that, since he grew up in all that, in that area or whatever. He probably got kicked out of it, probably.
I would imagine it was very different than it is now. I think the kids are a lot kinder now, I would say. I think they're this hard person persona back then. So
got it. Yeah. Okay, so you went.
I did grow up. Yes, I did grow up in that area. My uncle lived kind of in the Jays. So
the jungle. Jays are the jungles, for those who do not know.
So my uncle lived over there, and then he started living on the the gated housing on the opposite end of the day. So he lived over there. So I'm familiar with that whole Dorsey area. We used to skate there a lot. Let me see what else. And that's it. So I basically grew up over in that area. But even though I take that back. Even though I lived in that area, I actually kept going more towards, we call it the West. So near like Nashville and Overland, Robertson area, because my cousin lived over there. And so I always go, spend some time with him. And so I would say I lived in that area, but then I actually did a lot of like activities with my cousin in his area on the West.
Got it. So you've seen crazy change. Like you've seen it go from training day
oh my gosh,
to what it has become now. And I'm sure we've been gone because we lived in the Don. So we've been gone 3 years, I think now. I'm sure even in the 3 years, if I go back right now to the neighborhood, there would be some major changes.
It is different, especially that Adams area. It's crazy. I used to skate on the sidewalk where my building was. On what street is that? On Adams and Wellington. And there was a church across the street. They changed that church into a skate shop now. So I wish that was there when I was actually getting it in, because I feel like one of the only skaters. I'm just skating by myself on a sidewalk, but now there's a skate shop there. Wow. There's a bunch of different stuff. So
what change? Okay, so you went to Hamilton High, and then you graduated. Where did you go?
After I graduated, I went to Santa Monica College.
Nice.
And I was going to Santa Monica College initially because I wanted to do photography.
Oh.
I was inspired by my photography teacher in Hamilton, Mr. Rainwaters. Basically, he let me like hang out there. He was like so cool. Like I could skate in his classroom during lunchtime. He would kind of skate too. I love being in the dark room. I love that film feeling. I really thought that I was just gonna, do photography, do my thing. We were kind of like planning it out. But I didn't really take the LSAT, the SAT or something like that.
Yeah, one of those.
I didn't really take college too seriously when, in that moment. I was like, I'm just gonna, I got good grades in high school, but it was like easy. So I didn't really like try. It was just like, let me just finish the work. But I go to him. I thought that, I was like, I like photography. That's what I want to do. And I think there was a school in San Diego or maybe San Francisco, but it ended up being way too expensive. And he was like, well, maybe you can go to Santa Monica College. They have a good photography program there. So I go to Santa Monica College for photography. I take all the general education classes. I didn't even after I graduated from high school, I didn't even take like a break between. I went to like the summer bridge program. My mom was like so serious about going to college. She was like, oh, you got to get ready for college. It's super serious. You don't want to be a statistic. You got to get this degree. And so, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go to college. I'll do photography. I'll do that. And she's like, are you sure you want to do photography? They don't make no money. So I'm like, no. I was like, I'll do pretty good. And so I go to Santa Monica College. I take a few general education classes. Then I finally take a photography class after all those GE classes. Yeah. And it switched from film to digital.
Oh, yeah.
And that turned me off so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I want to do photography anymore. So then I thought like I got to find, and like a pathway to go through. So I thought to myself like, all right, maybe I'll take business, because then I'll either work for somebody or I'll have my own business. And so either way it goes, I need to know this stuff for future reference anyway.
Yeah.
So then I'll start taking all these like general business courses like marketing, public relations, finance, accounting. And then out of all of them, I like accounting the most. And so I kind of stuck to that. I had a really cool Black professor. His name was Professor Brookins.
Nice.
he ended up saying, "Oh man, Lemar, you're really good at accounting." I took like 2 accounting classes. Like, "Oh, you're really good at accounting. You're a nice guy. You have a good personality." He was like, "You should probably like do this internship program with Deloitte." And Deloitte is like one of the big 4 accounting firms. And so they basically do all the accounting for like the Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 500 companies. And so he's like, "Yeah, you should apply to do their internship." And so I applied. I did the interview with them. I ended up getting it. I did that 2 years in a row. And so I kind of felt like I was on that path to be an accountant. All in all, I felt like as I was doing it, though, I was slowly like, it was like pressure building up. Like I would talk to people and they go, "Oh, you're at Deloitte? Oh, that's you're going to do really good in life. You're at Deloitte." And it's kind of all this pressure surrounding it. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, I do want to, be an accountant." But everybody at Deloitte is really great. But I don't think that what I wanted to do with family, what I wanted to do with my time would have really worked out for us. Because it's a really demanding schedule, especially during like
tax season
and year end. I was going to do auditing year end. It's like really tough. And I think that if you wanted to move up, you had to do like a lot of flying around and stuff like that. And so that wasn't going to work out for me. But yeah, so I ended up doing the internship at Deloitte. I feel like I'm skipping some stuff here. There was like so much to this account. Like I was in school for 9 years on it. Like,
wow.
So I did, when I was in Santa Monica College, I initially went for photography. I started doing, the business stuff. They kind of tricked me a little bit because they were like, "Oh, you're kind of getting this social science degree. So you can get an A in that." And they were like, "If you take a few more classes, you can get a business administration degree." And so they kind of kept me in it a little bit longer. So it was like, for the 2-year degree, I was there for 4 years. And then I ended up transferring over to CSUN, Cal State Northridge. And from there, it was just so hard to get into the next accounting class. It was just difficult. It was super competitive. You had to have a 3.0 GPA or higher. And because I didn't take classes seriously after the photography setback, I had all these other like decent grades, but they weren't good. And I had too many of them to correct it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just stop doing accounting. I was like, what do I got to do to graduate? They said, you take 2 more finance classes, you can graduate with a degree in finance. So I said, let me do that.
Yeah.
I graduated, and then, that was it. So degree in finance for me.
So degree in finance. And then you went into that professional world. And for how long before you were like the skate side?
The skate side, I got you. So basically, I already knew that it wasn't going to work out in finance. I really loved accounting, and I wish it would have worked. Yeah. I would have went to a smaller firm or something like that too. But for what was the question? Sorry, I'm getting lost in my thought.
Yeah, so after you graduated and you got your finance degree, then did you work for a little bit and then Skateside, or what was that transition to Skateside?
Thank you. So after working 5 years at the grocery store, I became a cashier, and I was at the top of the top. And I was 17 when I became a cashier. And I'm also, as I'm going to school, I'm also working too. I'm working, I'm going to school. I meet my girlfriend, wife now, Elena, during those times at the grocery store.
Oh, cute.
So what happens next? They don't promote me, so I'm like, I got to do something else. So my performance at that job kind of started deteriorating because I was like, oh, they're not promoting me to the next thing. I need to be a manager now. And so I kind of got like, just like, let me just do something else. So I quit that job, and I was like, let me just find something else I can do. So I kind of like just took a year, not really working for someone. I just kind of like thugged it out and kind of like, I did canvassing a little bit. We started a nonprofit, me and my wife. that was something that we did also. It was called Kids in Foundation. We were going to basically donate birthday parties to underprivileged kids.
Oh, nice.
It's funny because that was her idea. And now like somebody else did it and it's like blowing up. we like abandoned that idea. And then I ended up working for another valet company during the time. And so now I'm doing valet. I'm in college at the same time at CSUN. So this is like 5 years, CSUN, valet job. Not just valet, I became a manager. I started managing like the valet department for the SLS Hotel or the Roosevelt Hotel. Seeing a bunch of celebrities and stuff like that too. That was pretty cool. Boom. So I'm in college. I'm in college. I'm at the valet, and I tell myself like, all right, I feel like I'm stable right now. We're stable. We got our stuff together. We took that year to, try something out. I got the valet job. I became a manager, mid-level manager. I'm doing well. And I said to her, once I graduate, we're doing something risky. We got to do something else. And so she was like, what can we do? We tried the nonprofit. And then I was like, well, I like skateboarding. She likes kids. And then that's kind of how it all started. So 2015 happened. My son, Nico, was born. And kind of, he's like the reason of why, like, I do take risks. Like, I was like, if I have to tell him, like, why did you make this decision? I would want him to go, I'm risky because I wanted to be an example for him.
Yeah. Like
if he ever had to like choose between like working at a place that was safe, he made good money, and they kind of just took care of him when he was bored or like, not happy. I wanted him to, I wanted to have experience of, I did something myself. I gave it a shot. I went for it. Yeah. I gave him my all, and this is what happened. So I can give him like, both experiences. And so I really just wanted to do something more risky. So then he was born, we started the Skateside, and then we kind of just grinded it up from there.
That's amazing.
That was a long story for just that part, but yes.
No, it's great because one thing that's a through line with pretty much everybody on here is that there's the nonlinear career path. It's not like, I went to high school, I went to college, I went for this major, and then boom, I went into this, and that's where I'm at. It's, everyone that have had on, it's like, I started this, but then it changed, like some crazy twists and turns, but eventually everyone gets to a place where it's like their passion, they're their own, whether they're made moves and are with the company that they love working for, or for the most part, everyone that I have on here, they're all entrepreneurs, mostly people of color. I love that you and your wife, it's it's a multiracial family, because I can relate to that. You went back. I feel like I think it's important that you told that story the way you did, because I knew a little bit of it. I think because it was during lunch. So I knew that you went for accounting and then the Skateside. But this is even crazier because as you're telling me the story, you guys probably know, but if you don't, I'm pointing it out. All the things that you guys went through, and there's probably more stuff that you didn't mention, prepped you
yes,
for the Skateside.
That's what it was.
Right?
I mean, the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, like, and people don't like realize, like, the reason why honestly the Skateside is so structured is because I had union experience working at Albertsons.
Come on.
And so I started off, I know when they should take a break. I know, you gotta have your uniform on, you gotta be professional, customer service, just different things. So I got all, I know about working hard. Like one time the trash compactor in the back broke down. So I had to take all the trash by myself, me and a buddy, like trash busting open on us. We're like still, throwing it in or whatever. So I know like, what it is to like start at the bottom and then like grind your way up. And so that was what I got from Albertsons. And then from the valet company, it was like me managing like a bunch of people. So
that prepped you for, because you have all these, the hiring, the managing, the personalities, and knowing like the personality. What I saw, what year was that? 2015, 2016?
Probably 2017, something like that. Yeah.
And what I saw was like, wow, like there was a good relationship between you and the coaches, but there was also a respect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it looked like, from what I saw in such a short amount of time, it was a respect, not a fear. You know, you could tell. Like I remember the first dentist we took the Supernatural Bear to. It was in Culver City. And for me, the most important thing is the front desk. Front desk they were on point. They were lovely. And it was such, it's scary for the kids at that age. He was like 2 or 3. And the dental assistant's amazing. But then here comes the dentist, and everyone the vibe changed because all the dental assistants were afraid.
Right.
Intimidated. Right. And it was the vibe, the way she talked to them too. And I was like, we're never coming back here. I don't like this. You know what I mean? And so I didn't see that. I saw like a respect. And also when you mentioned that when you guys took that 1 year kind of off and were, kind of trying different things, the nonprofits, working for the kid, like all setting you up.
Yep. Doing the documentation for that, and I feel like the iPhone wasn't really popping like that at that time. So I didn't like just Google stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, trying to figure out information and, whatever I had to do. So like you said, everything literally prepped me for this to a certain degree. And then you have to like kind of push forward from there. So
yeah. And you and your wife together, I think that's what's a beautiful thing too. Like I'm sure her experience, what she was doing while you were doing these other things, and you like joined forces. And it's a group, it's a team effort, it's a group effort. And I feel like it's a beautiful thing to see, to witness, and to know that you guys are still in business, and that all I see is growth on this end. All I see is the growth that's happened.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, I made a point in my notes. I was into skating. I was never like a skateboarder, but it was into skating back in the days in the 80s. Like I had grip tape on my, a piece of grip tape for no reason on my thing. And it was because my neighbors, I was always hanging around with dudes who was like skateboarding, like Tony Hawk, like all the guys, Dogtown, the whole shebang. So since those times, the inception, the creation of the big boom of skateboarding till now, there's been Black pro skaters. There's more now. But what kind, if anything, pushback did you get, when you started the Skateside?
When I started the Skateside, okay, not even skateboarding. Okay, got you. So in general, I would say I did get pushback just skating in general. So
because you were like the one kid in the neighborhood.
Almost the one. Luckily I had a friend named Trey who lived across the street from me when I used to live on Fifth Ave, on Crenshaw and King. And
so the two.
It was him, my cousin, Trey, and then we ended up adopting somebody else. And then that kind of like
cute.
The Black kids that are skating and nobody understood it. And like, I literally go to the barbershop. I used to have like a curl, like a curl.
I need to see that photo.
If I can find one, my barber ended up like cutting like a little triangle into my hair. And so I had like the curl, but then he messed up the line and like went a little bit too deep. And so I ended up going to a skate park and everybody's like, hey, who told this little boy this is cute? And like, they're like, showing. And so, just different stuff. And then like, let's say I'm in the barber chair, I got the little cape on or whatever. Dude's looking at my shoes like, hey, look at his shoes. They all ripped up. Like, and they didn't understand. They're like, why your Jordans look like that? It's like, I skate. And then the barber's like, hey, leave him alone. He a skateboarder. He was those white boys, So, just different stuff like that. So that's kind of like the thing that you got back in that time.
Yeah.
Starting the Skateside, I would say the biggest thing was, or a few things. The first thing was getting clients. So that was very, very difficult in the beginning for sure, because you're kind of like unproven. So nobody knows who you are, what you really do, if the lesson's going to be good, do they trust you or not?
With their kids.
with their kids. And, so that was it was just me and Elena. And so Elena did like a lot of the graphic and stuff like that. And then I would go out and do marketing. So I'll pass out flyers. I did a bunch of stuff. And one time I had this idea. It was called the 5-minute clinic, right? So this 5-minute clinic was, I used to go around, I'll pass these flyers that says, all right, be here on this date. I'm going to teach your kid for 5 minutes. I thought I would have so many people that would be there. All I would have time for is just 5 minutes to spend teaching how to skate. Looking back on it, that was so, it's like, what can you teach somebody in 5 minutes? And so, I mean, I went out for maybe like 2 weeks every single day. And also when we started Skateside, I was still working on my other job. So I would say from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., I was doing anything I could for the Skateside. From 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., I was doing a late night shift at the valet. And then there was even a time period where I even was like, oh, I got to keep pushing. So I started doing Uber from 2 to 4 at the same time. So like the first 3 years of the Skateside, we were doing maybe 2-3 years of Skateside, we were doing that.
Wow.
And that was kind of like what my thing was. But back to the story. I'm passing out flyers. I'm like, meet here at this day. The day comes, nobody's there. I'm like, dang. I call my homeboy Edgar up. I'm like, Edgar, listen, bro, I'm over here. I'm at the park. Nobody's here. He's like, we joke around and he's like, giving me stuff. He's like, oh, maybe you came off a little bit weird when you approached him or whatever. And so, I mean, at that moment, I didn't really feel like defeated. It was more of like, I just need to push harder.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'm not going to the right place. So, and then, now it's crazy. I'm going to say this, but I know there's a lot of guys that do skate lessons. It's not illegal. It's not legit or anything like that. So they might take this information and use it, but it's all good. So what I did was we started going to the actual school and just going, we're going to stay in the front and pass out flyers here and then let them know about our program. And then no one really still trusted us, but we got enough interest to where I was able to do a few lessons and then get some experience and then work it out. I mean, it was so not good in the beginning because we didn't like have like requirements of like wearing safety equipment and stuff like that. It was just like, oh, if you know a lesson, come on and do it. I'll make sure they're safe. But when we had like one set of equipment, it was like, all right, this kid can have the wrist guards, this kid can have the elbow pads, you can have the knee pads. You got a helmet, you don't, but it's all good. We're gonna make sure you're okay. And then Elena, who's not really from skateboarding, because for me, I didn't really have a helmet growing up skating. I didn't have all these pads and stuff, but because she's not from the skateboarding culture like that, she was able to go like, hey, as a parent, I wouldn't like seeing that.
Yeah.
And so kind of kept adjusting based off of what her perception was. And so when you think about the skate side, we always keep the parents' perspective in mind. And that's why, we get on our staff so much about how things look, how well we're taking care of the kids. Did you put on sunscreen? Did you give them water? They look tired. Like, why is their jacket still on? It's a hot day.
Yeah.
But it's like we have enough rapport with them where we can just ask them to do stuff and they just get it done because they know that, our whole thing is that we have to be the best of what we do. And so if there's, people illegal out there that are doing stuff without pads, when you come to the skate side, we have structure. They have to wear pads. We're going to promote this, the safety of it and everything like that. So that was that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why, when I look into, I do mad research when I'm buying a blender. Do you know what I mean? Like 3 months of research for a juicer, so if I'm taking my kid and leaving my kid, like I'm doing the most. And at the time, you guys already had reviews. It was promoted by the, somewhere at the charter that we were homeschooling through. And then that I read that everyone has the safety stuff, not just, I'm just like, oh, helmet, I guess, and knee pads, but you're like the wrist guards. And I was like, perfect.
Oh, you have to have the wrist guards. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's so much flack about that.
No, but it's perfect. That's why I was like, I felt he was in a safe environment and just the protocols you guys had in place. So Well done. Kudos to Skateside. You guys, I love seeing the growth, like I said. So I have a section called the questions and comments from the audience.
Okay.
And
1 second before you do that.
Yes.
Can I just grab a jacket really quick? I'm in the garage.
Oh, yeah. Don't be cold. Of course.
I'm freezing. Look, I'll be in the garage. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Of course.
Have your kids been in a house playing video games in your space way too long? Now you can get them outdoors and still be social while social distancing at the Skateside after school and group skateboarding classes. Skate students get to improve their skating and decompress after a long day or week of school. This program is awesome for beginners to get started or advanced skaters to take their skills to the next level. Go to theskateside.com and learn about our COVID-safe programs in Santa Monica, Culver City, Glendale, and South Pasadena. That's theskateside.com. The Skateside. More kids skating.
The top one comes from my dad, Lemar Betts Jr. He told me when I was younger, be your own man. And from that advice, I've always just been my own man. Like, no matter what anybody else is doing, you have to follow your own path.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't really be too much of a follower, if you need that person in front of you to like kind of guide you, you have to step out on your own and kind of stick your own chest out and be independent and not get trapped in what everybody else is doing. You have to not follow too many trends or what's cool, because sometimes that might work for them but might not work for you. Yeah. So definitely be your own man. I know why you told me that too. So be your own man for sure.
Nice. Do you remember around what age you were when he first imparted that with you?
I had to be probably 4 years old, something like that. He used, my parents used to give me like just raw advice. So
yeah. Just maybe like bars for days.
Just bars for days. And also my dad, he was around, but not as much. So, he'd come in and out due to circumstance. But, when he was around, he would just give me like, little nuggets and stuff like that. Nice. And I always picked up on it. So
nice. Okay. The next one, song that gets you hyped when you need it. What's your go-to?
Jeez, I listen to so much music. It's like, how do I
It's tough. It's tough for many. Give me one. Give me one or two. Maybe two scenarios. Give me two.
Okay, so I would say if it's late at night and I just need to, just hype myself up after a long day or whatever it is. Yeah. I listen to a lot of oldies. So I would say Mint Condition, You Send Me Swinging. I'm listening to Joe Levert now too, but I listen to a lot of oldies, but let me see. And also I would say if I'm like working, like let's say it's at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, I need like a boost. Yeah. I probably like say Logic featuring Eminem, Homicide.
Okay. So what we have and what we debuted last month is a Spotify playlist of all the hype songs from every single guest that we've had for the past year. And so those two songs will be added and there'll be a link to that playlist in the show notes. And I'll have, and what I also do is I put links to those individual songs, a YouTube link to those songs. And the last episode 51 with Vanessa, she gave me two, but one of them was an Atreyu song. She's like, that'd be too hard. I go, you don't know this playlist. The playlist is varied. crazy. Like you would,
I hear.
it's fantastic. She's like, it's going to be out of place. I go, not at all. Like we got everything you could think of, the whole gamut and spectrum of music. So it's very interesting. So, but no one's picked those two songs. So we'll definitely add those. That'll be a nice mix. So the final question, Coach Lemar, what will be your legacy?
My legacy. I think my legacy will come from anybody who I've ever interacted with and had a positive experience. So whether it be from a job that I had, you know, from Albertsons, the valet, the Skateside or whatever, I always feel like if somebody comes around me, they have to leave from me better. Even if, you know, let's say it doesn't seem like it ended well at the end of it, I know that from that experience, they definitely learned something from, you know, just interacting with me in general. And then, you know, just with the kids, like, you know, from the skate side, like, I sometimes think like, man, when these kids get older, they might remember like, hey, I was so freaked out to go down this ramp. Yeah. And then Coach Lemar and his group, the skate side, they were there, you know, cheering me on. I did it in front of them. And because of that, I know what it feels like to be scared to do something and then do it anyway.
Yeah. So
like, you know, whether it be like applying for a job or like, you know, ask somebody out or, you know, starting a business or, because the world is changing so fast. Like I'm trying to like catch up with all this NFT talk and like, you know, crypto and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm trying to like, you know, and it's like, you have to, you know, be a person that takes risks now. It's not like just one path anymore. You know, you can do everything. And so I would say that's where my legacy would come from. Hopefully they say some nice stuff about me, you know, later down the years.
I think so for sure, because the Supernatural Bear had one camp with you and he still talks about you and asks about you, and the impact has been great. So I can only imagine kids that have done multiple camps that you've seen grow, you and your wife and your team have seen grow and do kind of multiple camps. And, you know, because it's not just for those who are listening, they're interested. I mean, he does so many different areas in LA County and beyond, but it's not just the beginners. He has some kids that I saw during the Supernatural Bears camp. They were like, you know, they got multiple wristbands. You know what I'm saying?
And some of those kids, they're being groomed now to go to the Olympics.
Come on. The impact is huge. The legacy is huge.
Yes. And my own kids too. There we go. And my own kids as well.
Of course.
So they're, you know, making their progress too. So
yeah. And being out in the world and knowing that they have I'm sure your wife is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And that they have two amazing parents that support them and that want, you know, you guys are leading by example just every day and with the skate side.
I hope they open their eyes and see it all.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like they might not see it now. You know, they might not notice it now and they might be like, why are you doing like what? But later, please believe it. I know it in my bones that when they're older and when they've experienced and they've been on their own, they can be like, oh, they were dope. They were like doing all this stuff for kids. I saw them. They started their own business. Like it comes back. So I'm
glad you're saying this, Ritzy, and it's recorded so I can, you know, play this for you on the line.
Yeah.
In case y'all forgot, this is what Ritzy said about me.
No, I believe it to be true. You're such a positive energy. And I feel like your wife is probably the same way. And that, you know, I see what you do with kids that aren't yours. The respect, you know, the respect and courtesy and care that I can only imagine that's for someone else's, for your own. So I'm sure that they're very, very lucky and fortunate. So Coach Lemar, thank you so much. I'll have in the show notes how they can get to you and all the different ways. And I just, you know, I'm excited to see where these new projects take you guys to. And, you know, the Supernatural Bear and I will be watching for sure. And we will support in any way that we can.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This was super fun. Glad to share a little bit of what we do. And I was looking forward to seeing, Supernatural Bear also.
He's in writing class. So,
Got it.
Yeah. But maybe we could set something up. He would love to talk to you, but he was bummed. So, yeah, because he's in writing class till he has 30 more minutes in writing class. But, yeah, man, thank you so much for being on this.
Thank you.
And now introducing
the Supernatural Bear Corner. Supernatural Bear. Hey guys, and I am the SNV, or as I said at the Skateside, the scientist in the house. And today's episode is about Coach Lemar. We met at a skating class, like skateboard class, I believe. And he was a great teacher. He inspired me to do a lot of things that normally, if there was just like a regular teacher, I wouldn't do. Like, really. And yeah, he's a really good guy, really smart, and he comes prepared. So, I still have a skateboard, and I haven't shown him yet. It doesn't have wheels, but, I still have a skateboard right now, and I'm pretty rusty, because that was like 3 to 4 years ago now. But the Skateside was really fun, and if you are a kid listening to this, because this is a non-explicit episode, you should definitely go check it out to learn some tips from the professionals. This has been the SMB signing off. Peace. Skateside!
Shooby-doos. Yeah. There it is, folks. Episode 52 with Coach Lemar Betts. It's a great one. It's a unique one. The universal and the specific. As my homegirl Kim says, that this is what this podcast is about. The universal and the specific. His specific, unique story that no one else has that exact journey can get all kinds of gems from. All kinds of gems. And then, as we saw, all those things led up to him and his wife gaining that experience, having the wins, having those losses, catching those L's, and then putting them to good use in creating the Skateside. And now we're going to see how they do with the book and kind of the brand and just see them evolve. Because if you don't evolve, you become extinct. And that's in everything, kids. Everything. I hope adults and kids alike are enjoying this 100% curse word free episode. It's rare, a little rare, but here we are. And as always, thank you so much for all the support. We're getting ready to wrap up the calendar year and go a little bit over, a couple of months over the 1 year mark. So thank you so much for the support. Don't forget, you can go and become a patron on our Patreon page. You can donate directly to our efforts here. You could also go to the store and buy some enamel pins. There's one exclusive one by the Supernatural Bear. He did an illustration a couple of years ago of Voltron that we turned into an enamel pin. For the olds that are listening, we got a Stevie Wonder pin, we got a Prince pin, and we got some tea towels and some tote bags. Leave reviews. That's a free way that you can help us. And you know what's another free way you can help us? Tell your folks, tell your peeps, tell your friends. And as always, we reap. Word to Your Mama is owned and produced by Ritzy P. Intro beat produced by Nico Beats. If you need any more information on Word to Your Mama, including Media Kit, go to wordtoyourmama.com. And as always, Word to Your Mama is brought to you by RissyPeriwinkle.com and DoyenSharp.com.